Yeah, they gotta take him.
So Mary Lee stopped going, and that's how she died. Yeah, that's how she died.
Okay. I don't even know what today's date is. Today Tuesday?
No, Wednesday. Wednesday, you remember you off today?
I am. Even know what I'm doing. Y'all excuse me. I'm using my son's phone. I'm going live, but Peter's phone weird. So I'm over here in Gainesville. I'm off today working. So I wanted to touch base on my last post to let everybody know what I was referring to when I say that GPD tried it. I'm sitting at home. I'm working in my home office. Oh, let me apologize in advance. I do cuss, but y'all gonna hear probably more cuss words than y'all ever heard me say, because I'm just that damn mad. So I get a phone call. As a matter of fact, I talked to my dad this morning, probably no more than 10 minutes after I talked to him. My brother called, my sister called back to back. They said, go on live. There's a live video and the police got your daddy's house surrounded. Me, I'm like, well, that don't make sense, because I know for a fact if they got my daddy's house surrounded, it don't have nothing to do with my daddy. A lot of people don't know this, but my daddy's been in and out of the hospital for the last few years. That's the reason I actually moved back. But not even that, my dad just got out of the hospital just a few days ago. So my dad is on dialysis 3 days a week. My dad has congestive heart failure, and he just had a partial foot amputation some months back that is not healed, and they're getting ready to amputate more of his actual foot. So of course, y'all know me, I got to get dressed, I got to get on the road. I'm watching a live video all the way to Gainesville to see exactly what's going on, because I got to turn around and get here. When I pull up on the scene, you got all of these people standing around the house searching. There were 16 people here, and pretty much anybody who know my dad know my daddy. So y'all know it's always been a house full of people the whole 40 years of my entire life. When you get here and there's 16 people here, you got everybody secured by zip ties. My cousin them let me know they had to beg them to put a shoe on my dad's foot, the infected foot, that's an open wound, because they don't care. And I need to say this before I even get started to even go into the details of what happened. My deal is, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. Everybody deserves respect. The last time I checked, you're always guilty until proven innocent. I need y'all to know that when they came over here, it's 4 children that live in this house. The oldest child is 9. When they came, instead of opening the fucking front door that's always unlocked, they threw smoke bombs and broke out all the windows in this house with a house full of children. That's number one. My thing is this: if you got surveillance, if you got a reason to be here, anybody can tell you the door is always unlocked. So why would you throw bombs through a house and bust out windows with children in here? And then if children get hurt, then it's okay, oh well, my bad. Because I do know if you got any type of intel, you've known that before you got here. Fast forward, we get here, they searching, they can't find anything. The first thing I do is come up, I ask for the search warrant. I need to see the probable cause warrant that makes you feel like you were legitimate in order to execute a search on this particular residence. So when I asked for the warrant, they say, well, do you live here? I don't have to live here. That's my brother, and that's my daddy. And those are the people that you say security stating that they live here. And they've given me permission in order to look at the search warrant. So the person in charge, which is Officer Robinson, badge 589, she tells me that she's going to make sure that the search warrant is posted on the property at the end, which I know she should do, because this house is not in my brother's name, it's not in my daddy's name. So you got to leave a copy of the search warrant for the person whose house it is so that they know what's going on. So then they tell my dad that he's going to jail. When we ask why, they don't even know why he's going. They haven't come up with a reason on why he's going to jail yet. Okay, now mind you, it's 20, 30 of us sitting out here watching all of this going on. We all know that you got to give somebody a reason and legitimately let their next of kin know why they would be going. So they had to come and think about that. When they searched the house, they didn't find anything but some money. Hell, everybody got their stimulus. So if you found some money, it's 4 kids in here with 2 parents. That's $4,200 that I count right there. I already know my dad ain't got no money, because the reason I was talking to him this morning is to make sure he had his stuff situated in order for him to get his stimulus. So that this is already playing through my particular mind. So when I get here, okay, y'all haven't found anything. Y'all done let 14 of the 16 people go. So we still proceeding forward. You switch back from letting everybody go. There's an abandoned vehicle. I'm gonna show y'all the truck. This truck been sitting parked for a year. When you go in this truck, I can open up this truck right now and show you all kind of people's stuff. It's probably prints and everything else that's around it. You find a bag with 2 handguns on the truck. If you know my daddy, you know he ain't playing with no handguns. So then you go from, you didn't never find anything in the house, to the truck that's sort of kind of on the property, but sort of kind of on the neighbor's property that's been parked for a year, and the guns. So then we ask, well, what is my brother going for? We can't get no clear answers on who's going for what. So then my thing is, you have to give us clear answers. So then I'm asking them, They said they're charging my dad with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. How is he possessing a firearm of a vehicle that's parked on a property that's not his, in a vehicle that's not registered to him, and a gun he didn't touch? So he's telling them, I ain't dealt no firearm. So then they say, well, they maintaining a dwelling with drugs that are being sold. Mind you, it's 16 people in here. Please believe if my dad had anything to do with that as it pertains to that, it would be bigger than that. So my thing is, if that's what it's maintaining, what have you found? So they've not found anything. So so then we go from that he's going, they still ain't went to Alachua County Jail yet. They done took them over by Citizens Field. So the last time I checked, the last time you're trying to get over there is because you don't have no evidence. So you're trying to get somebody to talk to try to get somebody in trouble. I need it to be clear that GPD didn't know this, because I went up there. They're talking about Chief Jones said schedule a message. Tell Chief Jones he think I was mad at Sadie. He ain't seen her after me. I saw my daddy cry for the first time in my entire 40 years of my life. And the reason that he's crying, because my dad drank his medicine, is because he know he's truly not doing anything. And that's a fucking problem for me. His officers, I'm letting Chief Jones know that. His officers said it was Chief Jones that sent him here. And they need to explain that to me. Let them know what I'm asking for is that fucking search warrant and their probable cause warrant, where they should have been legitimate when they actually came here. And the fact that they did not leave them posted on the premises for the person whose house it is, they're going to have to answer for that as well. Also, too, I need to ask GPD, who you charging with the gun? Because you can't charge two people with the same weapon. If you want to say that it's constructive possession, well, it was 16 people here. So when you let 14 out of 16 people go, you can't charge them with constructive possession of the weapon either. If you want to say maintaining a drug dealing with drugs are being sold, I need proof of that. But then also, too, I got two brothers that was in here in addition to my dad. Why did you take one and not the other? See, these are the kind of questions that they're going to have to answer. I'm going to make sure anybody that know my dad, if my dad has ever done anything that's been good to you, be at first appearance in the morning. And when you be at first appearance, I'm going to tell you what color to wear. So that way, when you show up in our courtroom, everybody know that we in there for the same particular person. I take issue with GPD, the fact that my dad got to be at dialysis in the morning and got to miss that on some bullshit. And he already is fighting for his medical care because he got a wound that's not healing and that's infected. We got problems. Also, let Sadie know, because the department in the jail is hers. I don't want no more problems. So they better do whatever they can to ensure that my dad got all his medications. If there's a misstep or a mishap, and they already know that in advance and problems, we're going to have issues. I'm so sick of GPD and so sick of ASO and their bullshit, I don't know what to do. But the one thing that I do know, it didn't happen to my dad by mistake, because I'm not the one that's going to hide in the shadows and sit there and let it happen and not do anything about it. I'm not the one that's going to hide in the shadows and be fighting and dealing with it differently. Let Officer Robinson know, badge number 589, every search warrant that she done executed, I need to see it. I need public records. Because if you came over here and tried to shit my dad because you couldn't find anything, that means you done shitted other people too. So the same way you think you're going to do something to prove a point to make his life hell, I'm going to make sure that's what happened over there in y'all department. I keep telling y'all in Gainesville over and over, it's time for a revamping. It's time to do other things. We always want to sit here on this damn social media platform and not do shit. It's an election year. It's time to get Sadie ass out of there. Bill Savone not rerunning. If Brian gonna have the same policies as Bill, his ass can't have our vote either. GPD, that go for City of Gainesville, because the commission and Lee Feldman, city manager, y'all oversee it. So therefore, y'all are who I'm holding accountable. It's not what you do, it's how you do stuff. And one thing about me is, when you messing with Pete, you're not just messing with Shanae. Hey, you're probably messing with half of fucking Gainesville. And I mean it just like that.